Hello, everybody. It is your Uncle Fish back again for School of Fish Art Stream. J-Man wants a Gatling gun on the end of his tail. Oh my goodness. J-Man says the tail's where you put all the heavy artillery. Damn. He said he used to have a howitzer on the end of his tail. Good morning, everybody. I love that bit. It makes me giggle every time that intro runs, and that going off on what J Man was saying in the comments, that just tickles me every time. Anyway, good morning. It is Tuesday mornings, Tuesday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 10 a.m. Central Time, like it is every Tuesday morning for School of Fish and Art Stream with your ever loving Uncle Fishy. Good morning to everybody that is joining and watching this morning. Uh, this morning, I'm going to be working on the last of the sketch covers for KAAW, so I can hopefully, fingers crossed, get those shipped out today. I'm hoping. And I just got the source books in yesterday, so the KDs of the world that backed for the source book will be glad to know about that. And I'm going to get all of those shipped out and stuff hopefully today. I'm going to try and spend the rest of the day packing packages and stuff. I have to run to Office Depot later and get some new little prints that I had made up and some new bookmarks and stuff that I'm getting made because my TikTok shop has been doing so well. Uh, that there's certain people that have come in and bought like every single book that I've got. And when I when I pack the books, I like to put little extra add-ons in there as thank yous for the people that bought off my TikTok shop. So I put like trading cards in there, and I've been sketching some of the characters on the back real quick, and I've been adding stickers and stuff in there, and mini prints and thank you cards and things just to show the people how much I appreciate them back in the books. But then I have some people like Dragon Hunt on TikTok that have gone through and bought absolutely everything that I have in the store and now is turned around and ordered the source books. And like I've given I've given him all the extras that I have right now. So I was like, ooh, mercy. I need to go print up some extra little add-ons that I can stick in and hopefully give them something a little extra, something special that they haven't already got. It just goes to show me, like, I did not expect to be selling as many copies of T-Man and Hyperstrike as I've been selling because, like, that book's from 5 years ago, and it's for people with Tourette syndrome and ADHD. I didn't really think it was gonna be as big of a hit as it's been, but I've been selling as many copies of that as I have of anything. So, like, clearly, I need to get some stickers and stuff made for that and get them up and going. Anyway, so we're going to be working on one of the last sketch covers for the Kickstarter. I've still got a lot more sketch covers in, and the sketch covers have actually been doing pretty well in my shop. And I've been surprised how many people wanted to pay the extra money to get that, but it's been doing pretty well. So we're going to work on the last sketch cover for one of the backers. Let me switch the camera over here so we can see everything that's going on. And they sent pictures of their character that they want me to include. So I'm pulling up my reference over here so I can see them. And their dude is like basically like looks like a soldier of fortune dude. You know, he's wearing regular clothes. He's got, you know, a belt with some pouches on it, military style boots, a rifle, and then like a skull mask. Um, and they suggested like, you know, it'd be cool to see what he was like all barbarian up. So trying to decide, do I want to do him with Kaw or do I want to just do him by himself as a barbarian character? Um, so I'm just gonna play sketch around for a second here and see if I can come up with something that I think will be cool before I commit to actual page. No, that's not it. That's not dynamic or anything. That's just some dude hunkered over. What is up, Katie? Man, is not going to show up in the comments. I'm gonna try turning it off and turning it back on again. I'm gonna see if the next comment shows up on there, and if not, I'm just gonna have to scroll. Um, Good to see you this morning, Katie. I was just saying earlier I got the source books in, so I should be able to get that sent out to you. Hopefully today, I'm hoping. Okay, he's got a rifle. Normally, he's got like a AR-15 rifle. So do I trade that out for like a sword or man? The chats aren't showing up for some Restream has been having nothing but trouble lately. So I'm gonna turn the chat overlay off because it does if it's not gonna work, then it doesn't matter. So I'm gonna have to go back to the old school way of doing it. Um Kind of thinking it might be cool for him to have like the gun in one hand and a sword in the other or something. Oh, dude. I just had an idea. No, I don't want to do that. Uh, Trying to come up with the idea on some of these has been the toughest part. Like drawing calling a cool pose is easy. Trying to figure out how I want to do somebody else's character, that's a little bit tougher because like I want to do it right. Okay, that would be cool. I'm digging that. I'm digging that. Don't fall, phone. Stay. I'm gonna have to change the angle that drawing table's at over there because it's a little bit too sharp. And it fell because I was getting too many dings from people. I'm gonna have to turn my ringer off. I've started keeping it on because I got people like Karen coming in and dinging me during the show and telling me things are wrong or my audio's not working or whatever the problem is. But Kyron's not going to be able to be on the show with us anymore for a while because of his schedule getting his kids to school. Really surprised he didn't just sick the butler on it, but said something about the help is doing most of the raising of the kids nowadays or something. So he wants to do this one thing. I can't remember what he said. Which again has got me kind of wondering if I might should alter the time of the show, not just for Kyron, but like it's clearly not as good a time for everybody. But then I know, like, it's probably a pretty good time for Katie with the time change. Yeah, that's absolutely the problem. His butler's probably been moonlighting as a, actor in his spare time or something and is on the picket line. I bet you is probably what happened. Living that close to Holly weird. I can't go back after the fact and move things around like I'm used to digitally, so I got to get them right. Like I want to just select that hand and move it, but I can't do that. Love you too, man. Wifey has a rare day off, and we're both too busy to be able to spend it together. That stinks. I mean, we're gonna see each other. Normally, I try and take the day off when she's got a day off, but today I got too much stuff to have to do. Today, trying to cool off after cutting some of the grass in the garden with the scythe. Man, you got such a wild life. Hold on, I gotta get. Oh, yeah. I literally don't need her crawling around on everything, getting it all stinky because she smells of the roadkill. She likes to get out the yard and go roll in the dead things. It's too long for the trimmer just wraps around it, and I get very annoyed. So the scythe is easier, and it's a full body workout too. Oh, I imagine. It's just, you know, I already kind of imagine you've got such a magical looking garden over there to start with, and I just kind of imagine, polite little badgers and field mouse having tea in your pretty little garden, and then you're out there mowing it with a scythe. Just you got the weirdest, most magical seeming life from over here, but everything probably seems fancy from a distance. Like I don't know how many like Nigerian kids I've had hit me up and be like, "Oh, please, rich American artist, can you give me the job drawing the comic books and buy me a new computer and all this stuff?" And I'm like, "Man, I don't have any idea what you think is making me that rich, but that's not me." English badgers look polite, but they're just as brutal as other types. They just look like they're wearing dinner jackets. Yeah. But they're so cute though. And we forget they're mean. What's a long one? I was watching Shooting Stars last night in the garden. Saw I have no light pollution, and an owl flew over my head. Lots of bats did too. So it's either Wizards or the vampires come for me. They're fighting over you. That's what they're doing. Oh man, speaking of bats, uh, we noticed we're getting all this weird stuff in front of the house, like right in front of where my wife parks in the driveway. And at first, I thought maybe it was little bits coming off of the trees or something, like insides of pine cones or something weird. And she's like, "No, that looks like mouse poop." And there'd be all this pile of poop in front of the garage, but it's like a foot away from the door. Like it almost looks as if like a million mice were pooping in the driveway, and then something washed it all down into like this little puddle in front of the driveway, but it's dry. Like nothing's washing it down. It's not raining. Took us forever to figure out it's bats. And the people across the street said that the former owners had a big problem with bats in the attic. And so, yeah, absolutely it's bats pooping as they go in and out. And you can see little drips on the vent where it's been pooped on. And so there's just a whole lot of it where they're flying in before they come inside, which I wouldn't really care if the attic was full of bats because I got no beef with bats, except I know they're going to be pooping in there too, and then the attic's going to fill up with it. And so we're going to have to figure out some kind way of getting them to vacate the premises and screen that off so they don't come back in. I've been wanting to build bat houses out in the trees anyway. So this when I have a little bit of extra money, a little bit of extra $100 probably to buy wood, I'm gonna build some bat houses and stick them up in the trees so that we can move them out of the house and they can have some place nearby to go. Because I don't want to get rid of them altogether. I just don't want them pooping in the insulation in my house. Start selling bat guano, Katie says. You'll get rich, Katie says. All the kids are doing it, Katie says. I think that's gonna be cool. Have him screaming like, "Oh, show yourself!" And then turns out Kaw's like actually right behind him as like a shadow almost. I think that'll be um tempted. I've been doing this the other way of doing the colors first, but because usually I work in watercolors usually, and I did a sample with all of my different brush pens and stuff, and almost everything smeared with the watercolor sample that I did. And I forget that with the markers, most of it worked except for the India ink and my gray Japanese brush pen. Everything else did pretty good. And I've been doing more and more stuff with microns lately just because shaky hand, it's easier to do it all the time with that than have to wait till my hand's absolutely perfectly still. So, since I'm going to be doing more of this with the micron, I think I'm going to go ahead and ink it so that I can know for sure where all my lines are going to be before I start coloring it. I have really got to do something about that drawing table because the angle it's at just keeps having stuff slide off on me and it's ticking me off. And I thought about adding a little piece of something at the bottom to make a lip on it, but I couldn't find any trim or anything that looked like it wouldn't get uncomfortable after a while of resting my arm across it. So, what was it y'all found when you moved into your house, Katie? Oh, I just realized you show hasn't been on. Is it on hiatus too because of UHS? I mean, I would understand, but I just realized you haven't been on in a while. Or at least I haven't seen it, which doesn't mean anything. I could have missed it. I'm forever forgetting that it's Wednesday. Good morning, Phil. What is up, brother? Glad you can make it in. Working on the last of the sketch covers, I believe, for the Kickstarter. For those that backed at the very top tier, that just got the source book in yesterday, and there was one or two people that got sketchbooks that ordered the source book too. So I was like, well, I'll wait until I got those in, and then I'll ship out it all at once and save myself a little on shipping. It's like one of them's in Saigon or something, and so I was waiting to get the source books in, and I got the source books in yesterday. So now I got to finish this up and get it out. Let's see. Kitty says our attic is really just a crawl space as it is 1.5 story house, so the upstairs rooms are in the roof. But for some reason, it was fully used. We have no idea why. This house was gross when we moved in. Oh my god. Yeah. I helped an old dude move, like a friend of mine's grandpa. And like when we moved his bed from against the wall, we found out that for the last couple of years, instead of getting up in the middle of the night, he was just backing up to the wall and pooping against the wall. So nasty. It was a long night last night because it was so hot yesterday, running a little behind schedule today. Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that. Man, I've been up since 1:30 this morning, so I am freaking running on fumes right now. But how do they get them in the attic? It's 8 feet in the air, she says. I don't know. Well, you said like half the rooms are built into the attic. I wonder if it was somebody upstairs that was too scared or too much of a hermit or something to go take care of it the right way, or who knows. I know it was probably a trans man that was also like a heating and air tech or something that was at the house last, and his wife didn't know that he was trans, so he was hiding the evidence in the attic. First guess I got. Maybe it's not right, but it's an interesting story. There was someone in before us who had between 5 to 8 children, and 2 had mental issues, so we had to burn most of the carpets too because of just yeah. Which that was honestly my first thought, was that maybe it was somebody with some mental issues, and, like, if it was a little girl that already had some problems and didn't know what was going on or thought it was, demons, making her bleed or something, who knows? It doesn't sound like the type of thing a healthy person in their right mind would be doing. Because, like, that's not something that just goes away. That's you can't just hide that. There's writing all over the walls of badly spelled racist stuff, which the house owners had painted over, but when it got hot, all the writing starting to oh, that's so creepy, like horror movie stuff, The walls start to sweat, racist swear words start to come through the walls. The neighbors were very glad when we got the house, I'll bet. Yeah, I when I first started doing murals and everybody, that was hiring me for murals wanted, a super cartoony look with, dark outlines and everything. At some point, I realized that, like, I could use markers to draw those outlines and get a nice solid black line and not have to try and do it with paint. And I was like, "Okay, hey, that works. That's easy." And then at one point, I realized even if I got paint on that marker would still show through the other layers of paint. So after a while, I started laying out my final line work for all the cartoon characters and stuff in like Sharpie. And then it didn't matter how much I painted over it, I could still see the line enough that I could go over it with another like big fat poster marker and make big black outlines around everything. Looked great until they tried to paint over those walls years later when the kids grew up and they didn't, my nephew didn't want Winnie the Pooh anymore because he was the only one that I ever did licensed characters for because it was for free for family. And I was like, hopefully that'll keep me from getting sued by Disney if somebody found out about it. It's funny how concerned I was that that mural was going to end up getting in like Better Homes and Gardens or something, and I was going to become a rich, famous, nationally known muralist, and Disney was going to sue me for it. That was kind of silly looking back at it, but that was what I was worried about as a young man. And so when my nephew grew up, and I realized probably the other kids too that I did murals with the same technique, how much they painted over those walls, those black out through, like you're talking about. I feel bad about that now. But, I didn't that was one of those lessons I had to learn the hard way. And wish Sarah was in here. I'd love to tell her about how well the TikTok shop has been going for me. Man, that has been nuts. I mean, I'm not doing the kind of sales that, like, say, Danny J. Quick is, but he's got almost 100,000 followers. I don't have 5 yet. 5,000, I mean. But, man, the shop has been doing great, and the sales have been nice and consistent. Like, UHS should really get on it and try and get their books on there. If they've got enough stock to, like, keep up with demand. It's too small. I've been working pretty hard to get there too. And the only reason I've been putting in the effort on it so hard is because TikTok is so good about getting you in front of new eyes that haven't seen your stuff before. Where like Facebook is a fight just to get out in front of the people that already said they want to follow your stuff. It's been pretty nice. I can go on live for an hour or so and like just be packing packages or bagging and boarding comics and talk for a minute and pitch my books and sell 50 to 100 bucks worth of books in an hour. There's my Sarah. I figured if I mentioned your name enough times, either you would appear or somebody go chase you down. I'm currently in obsession with 3D modeling, so I bought a beginner's character building course for Blender today. Awesome. Question: when your writer friend misuses a word on a Facebook post, should you correct them? Uh, I don't know. It depends to me, I think, largely, like, that would depend on their ego more than just about anything, I think. Because, like, I know a lot of people that could not handle being corrected, and I know a lot of people that wouldn't be able to handle being wrong on social media. So, you know, I had the show on, but I was trying to do laundry too. Sarah out there multitasking. Anyway, I was saying, I don't know how active you guys are on TikTok, but you need to get active on TikTok and you need to start selling your books in the TikTok shop because it is nuts how well it has been doing for everybody. And it's super easy. TikTok handles all the shipping costs and everything, and you just like get a label to print out and it has like what goes in the box, and they've already handled the shipping costs. And like right now on my store, like all the shipping has been free lately because TikTok's willing to pay it just to get it out there. um oh yeah, it is. And they're really pushing it hard, so like they're giving us like all kinds of discounts and stuff on boosting posts and whatnot. And they're making it almost like a game. So like if you do XYZ, then they'll give you $10 off coupon for promoting a sales post as long as you spend $10 and 1 cent. So kind of like Timu does of like, trying to use the game aspect of it to lure you in and make you buy stuff. Um, they're doing everything they can to push it right now, which is really helping get my books in front of new eyes. And like, I've only had my shop open for a little over a week, and I've already cleared almost $500. The only problem is that TikTok doesn't pay for like 14 days when you start out your account after the customer gets the books. Well, in my case, books. It could be whatever. There's people on there. Man, there's people on there selling everything. You know how people are. I saw one dude on there kept posting a wadded up CVS receipt, and he was selling all kinds of stupid stuff like that, and like people were buying it. But then like 500,000 people will sit there and watch a robot lawnmower go around dude's backyard. So yeah, I guarantee you somebody would probably buy it. Especially like if you made some videos where you were packaging it up and kind of leaned into the camera and let them see a little cleave, you'd sell so freaking many. Have I ever thought about making my own How to Draw the Mr. Fishway book? From pencils to panels. Thank you for hanging out with us, man. Uh, actually, I have thought about it. There's a lot. That's a big undertaking to do like a how to draw. But oh man, people will buy the weirdest stuff. Um, I've been thinking about a lot about doing an art book over the last year or so, and I'm so excited. My buddy Ryan has done his and has it out there, and it looks amazing. So I'm already a fan of his work, and you can check it out at fskgo.com. FSK Freestyle Comics with a K go.com, and you'll see the art of Ryan Reynolds on uh not on Xbox, on Kickstarter. Um but yeah, I've thought about it. It's just it's such a big undertaking, and then you have to hit on so many things because there's going to be people that are buying this like starting from scratch wanting to learn how to draw and stuff, not just like established experienced people. And so the thought of like having to try and explain like how perspective works and stuff to people, and it's that's a lot. And what really gets me is I wonder if my real question with like a how to draw book is if I'm self-publishing it the way I do all my other books, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to sell enough copies to make it worth the investment of my time because like I could honestly see putting like a really good, helpful how to draw comics the fishy way book. I could see that taking like a full year of work to put together a really good book for that. And, you know, and you could absolutely sell that for more than you sell comic books for. but is there enough of an audience out there that's going to want to buy a book from me as opposed to like, that might jump in for Jim Lee to do it, but not as many people know who I am, et cetera, et cetera. Like, would I be able to sell enough to make it worth the massive time investment in it? And that's what I don't know. I don't know if I could right now. That might be something I got to do down the road when I've got a few more uh followers and whatnot watching what I'm doing. Okay, what did I do with that? There it is. I get my little handy dandy vector sheet in here because I don't want to bleed through onto the comic book. Alright, now I've got to pick which colors I'm going to use for this guy. Okay, well, that's good. That's perfect for his shirt. Cool gray 11. Real 1104. Just triple checking my reference before I get started on this because once I put it down, I can't take it back up. Well, like I sent some stuff to the printer last night, so I'll have some more little swag stuff to give away with my books. And when I get these bookmarks and stuff back today, I think I'm probably going to go ahead and add my stickers and bookmarks and stuff onto my shop too. So there's some less expensive things if people want to get that, people want to be supportive and buy that too, they can. Or, have something there to be able to make a few extra little sales if some people want to add that stuff on. Because, man, there are some folks out there that will just buy everything that you put out. Like, there's this one cat over there on TikTok, Dragon Hunt, that like has not only bought every book out of my shop, like I just added, he had bought two orders and bought everything that I had. And then I added the source book on last night. And during the live, when I announced that I had just added that, he went on and bought that too. Um, and not only has he bought all of my stuff, but like he bought everything that Sean had for sale at Instinct Comics. I believe he's bought all of Kyron's stuff, I think. He's he's the dude, man. He's a huge supporter. It's really encouraging to have someone like that come along and just show that they believe in you and believe in what you're doing. I was worried about, figuring out everything on the TikTok shop, but it's been really easy. Let's see what Sarah say. I'm looking at your TikTok shop now. I definitely have to look into this. You're making it sound like a pretty sweet deal. It is. I mean, other than the fact that it takes a while to get paid, like I've been selling stuff and shipping it out for over a week now, and I still am not going to get paid until like closer to the end of the month. The more sales you make and the more you keep your ranking up, like, getting stuff shipped out in like 24 hours and uh don't get dinged for community violations and things like that. Uh don't have a lot of complaints and returns on your products, then you can move that up to as little as like 3 days after the customer gets the order. But like I get why they're doing it because like they've also got a very generous return program right now, and like you can return it for just like, nah, I don't like this book after all. You can just return it. And so it's a lot easier for them to just give the customer shipping to send it back than to try and get the money out of me after they've already paid me. Like I see why that would be difficult. And so I don't really knock them for that, especially when they're just starting something out. But like I was worried in the beginning when I first set up my shop. I only put like a handful of books up in the shop because I thought I was going to have to pay the shipping out of pocket and then wait to get paid back later. TikTok pays for all of that. They just give me a label and I print it out and stick it on. So after I realized that, I ran the numbers up to what I what I have on hand that I can afford to give away and have been sending out stacks of books every day or so. And when the check comes in, it's going to be a pretty fat check, which is nice. Let's see. We have a weird situation right now, so it's probably not the time for UHS stuff, but learning how it surely won't hurt. I can try it with the car and get used to it. You can't just say all sales are final. That stuff. Yeah, because TikTok's trying to win everybody over and everything and convince people to buy on a brand new platform that they haven't bought on before directly from all these creators. So they're giving like Amazon level returns. Pencils to Panel says, is there a character you've always wanted to work on if you ever got the chance? I have I am one of the weird guys that has never really dreamed of working on like Spider-Man or Batman. Like, I would love to work on Batman. I love Batman. He's one of my favorite characters, but like that was never what I dreamed of doing. I always wanted to I always wanted to work in indie comics. So, like some of the characters that I would love to work on at some point that I think would be a lot of fun would be like the Ninja Turtles, Judge Dredd, um, Rendell. Black Science. Man, I freaking love Black Science so much. Man, that doesn't look anything like the color swatch, but they never do. Um, the one character at any of the big two that I would honestly really love to work on, oddly enough, is Kite Man. And not the goofy hell yeah Kite Man, though I dig the hell yeah. But um when we were watching The Flash and they started having all kinds of guest directors and stuff on, like Kevin Smith and stuff. Uh, and me and my boys, man, we tear shows apart and break down like, how it was written, how it was directed, how did they make you care about this character, in 22 minutes or whatever. Like, we really like breaking that stuff down and talking about it. And they were asking me, like, if you got the chance, like, what would you want to do if you got to work on uh Flash? Like, if you got to direct an episode, what would you want to do? And I thought about it for a second, and I absolutely would love to do a Kite Man story. And now that I've got it in my head, I can't get rid of it. 5 verse 3. God, it's so hard to read some of these. Is it over here, maybe? No, that's warm gray. GGO8. No, that's CGGO. Um, CGGO11. Hunting, and I'm not finding. I've really got to figure out a way to get more. Let's see, is there something else I could use? G3. I really wish I had left some of these out that I was working with instead of putting them back. 'Cause now, but yeah, I mean, the characters that I really want to work on are either way independent ones or like Kite Man. Like, if I got a job at Marvel, I would take it, and work there for a little while because it'd be fun to say you worked on Spider Man or the X Men or whatever. Like, I mean, that would be fun, sure. But that's not really what I want to do. I want to tell my own stories. But like, if you could give me some obscure character like Stiltman and let me go nuts with it, or the Beetle. I love Spider-Man's Beetle, so I would love to do that too. Mhm. What are some characters you guys would dream of working on? Like, I'm curious, like, what's something Sarah would love to work on if she got the chance? What's something Katie would love to paint a cover for if you could just pick your dream? I need to go to the shop, but I feel slightly broken after scything for an hour. I don't blame you. I don't blame you one bit. I don't think anybody in their right mind would. Look at that beautiful yellow. And there's yellow further up and redder than that that's much brighter. It's so crazy the way these colors are laid out. Oh, yeah, Justice. And see, that's my thing. All the characters that, like, I really wanted to work on, a lot of them I've already gotten to work on, like Steel Wolf and stuff, because I've always wanted to work on indies. And, it's not just I don't know, I'm not just saying that because it's easier to do so that I've got, a dream I could accomplish easier or whatever. Like, it's legit just that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to work on independent stuff because mostly I want to work on my own ideas, but also the indie books are where all the cool weird stuff happens. And that's what I dig. That's where I wanted to be doing this kind of stuff. Yeah, no, I certainly wouldn't mind if, like, you know, my stuff got picked up by Dark Horse or something and got a much bigger distribution. I wouldn't complain about that a lick. So, to two of my main viewers that are always here watching, the Sarahs and the Katies of the world, and to a lesser extent the Chirons, but the Chirons aren't here. Uh, would being on later be a deal breaker for y'all? Just out of curiosity, because y'all are really the only ones that I really care about because y'all have always been here from the beginning and, have really been invested in what I'm doing. And so I genuinely care very much what y'all think about it. Yeah, I'm just learning. Like, I am still learning right now how to work with them. Um, like, I see people doing so much more amazing work than I can do. And I'm like, dang. Like, I see some of these dudes just whipping out near photorealistic work with them. And I'm like, man, that is a level of dedication that I just don't have the time to put into it. Like, I wish I did, but I don't. Not and still make books and whatnot. If I was going to move over to just doing, like one off fan art and stuff, then sure, yeah, it'd be worth the time because honestly, I could make so much more money if I was doing pictures of Harley Quinn and Moon Knight and whatever else was popular today. course, I wanna do the hard thing and sell my own stories that nobody's ever heard of instead of just selling the same thing everybody else is selling. But my autistic OCD brain won't let me do that because I don't own those characters. And that's where that overblown sense of right and wrong comes in with the autism. It says, "Yeah, you can't do that. I don't care if everybody else does it. I don't care if everybody else is getting rich. You can't do that because you don't own it." But even these cheap alcohol markers are still pretty good at blending in together. And, um, yeah, I've been thinking about doing a later time slot, like more towards the evening when more people are home from work and whatnot and can watch. And frankly, sometimes the art stream, the talking and the running it and doing it all by myself for an hour or two sometimes takes so much out of me that a lot of times I just want to crash afterwards. But I have to keep making comics and get pages done. And I can't just, dip out on the rest of the day when I get done with the art stream. So it would be a little bit easier on me if I could work all day and then get on in the evening and do it when more people were home and could watch. And then I could just be done for the day afterwards and just sit and watch TV with the wife or whatever and not have to try and force myself to stay conscious and draw comic book pages when all I want to do is crash after all this peopling, even though it's all online peopling and it's all people that I love, but still, much as I love y'all, y'all still people, and it still takes a lot out of me. I don't mean any insult because I understand I are one too, but my girls get it at least. I bet. It's much as you love them, it takes a lot out of you sometimes. BG 11:05. I'd be fine with that. Depends on how late. See, for you, it'd probably end up being early. Um, and then there's also the problem of like I don't want to mess with anybody else's show. Like the time slot Mike has his chat and draw in would be perfect for me because Wednesday nights are my wife's late night at work anyway. So she's gone at work late at night. So I wouldn't be, missing the evening with her if I was streaming until, 6 or 7 o'clock or whatever. And then I could just chill out when she got home and hang out with her. But I don't want to step on Mike's toes and, you know, make him feel like I'm trying to steal his slot or anything. And I always probably worry way more about other people's feelings than they would worry about it, but, that comes with not really understanding the feelings very well and not being able to read people very well. So, I always worry, y'all know how it is, always worried that you're gonna do something, people don't like you anymore because XYZ. That fella used a dirty word. BG 1105 is here. That's not gonna work, I'm gonna need a darker gray. Hmm, let's see what it does. But it might. And a lot with these markers is just kind of figuring it out because a lot of times they do not do what I expected them to do. Yeah, like I want to watch Mike shows more often too, but like I'm working, so I forget about it. But Wednesday nights are a great night for me to be able to do stuff late because my wife works late. It's awfully dark. I think might be no. Okay, I need to go darker than that. That next step is a big one. Tell you what I need to do is get some of those acrylic markers. Man, those look so nice. And it'd be nice to be able to have some opaque colors that you could go over things with. I was liking the blending, but I think the full on shadow is gonna look better. But yeah, it's been on my mind for a while to try a later night time slot, but I don't want to step on anybody's toes, and then I don't want to lose the people that I do have either. So that's why I was asking. I kind of think he almost needs like an outline around him. Which is where it'd be nice to have one of those acrylic pens, but I don't have. I wonder if that's something I could pick up at Michael's today. But there we go. We got his character looking for KAAW. I'll put a word balloon on there in a little bit. That's over an hour and a half. So I think that's going to be it for me for today because my back's killing me. And I got to run to the store and go get some prints I had made. But thank you guys for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate it. And I will see most of y'all back on Thursday on my Patreon show. Anyway, I love you guys. Peace out.
Hello, everybody. It is your Uncle Fish back again for School Fish Art Stream. J-Man wants a Gatling gun on the end of his tail. Oh my goodness. J-Man says the tail's where you put all the heavy artillery. Yeah. Said he used to have a howitzer on the end of his tail.